everyone, my name is Julie, one of the instructors at Biscotte Yarns, Northvale, New Jersey shop. We are located in northern Bergen County, New Jersey, just a stone's throw away from the New York border. Welcome back, whichever the case may be, and thank you for clicking into our 5th episode. I can't believe this is the 5th one already. I started in the beginning of May, and today is Memorial Day, the last Monday of the month. For those of you who didn't watch the first episode, I was introducing myself, telling everyone how that was the very first episode I've ever made, like ever. And it was so nerve-wracking. I was so nervous. I was having nightmares about it. And now I can do this in my dream. It's so much fun. It's a stroll in the park. Anyway, I really do sincerely enjoy making content for you, and I hope that you enjoy watching them as well. If you do, please tell us about it. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us what you like about it. Maybe give us some feedback as to what you want us to talk about in our future episodes. Maybe you saw a pattern in one of our emails that you wanted us to expand upon, like, you know, how is it constructed? How difficult is it? Yada, yada. Or maybe you're interested in one of the yarns, one of our house yarns. You're curious to know the fiber content, how it knits up or how it drapes, you know, what it's most appropriate for, etc. So if you have a question or you want us to talk about something, let us know. And if you're someone who's more private, don't feel comfortable leaving a public comment, of course, you can find us, DM us on our social, Instagram and Facebook. And all of our handles are listed in the description box down below, so you can check that out. While you're doing all that business, why not take an extra second to subscribe to our channel? There is a red bell up above. Click on that and you'd be notified whenever we have new videos for your viewing pleasure. And just to let you know, besides this English series that we are just starting up, we also have a whole bunch of videos already recorded and published, recorded in French. But all of our videos, most if not all, are closed captioned. So there's English subtitles to all of the content. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about the weather. See, this is why I need you to give me material to talk about. Otherwise, I'm just going to be talking about the weather. No, seriously, we are really going to talk about the weather because I wanted to show you something that our shop manager, Amanda, has been working on since January 1st. So it's a thing. But I didn't know that it was a thing until Amanda was explaining it to me. If you are one of those people who has been living under a rock and you're just resurfacing, let me tell you about it. It is called a temperature scarf. I understand that there is a temperature scarf and there's a temperature blanket. It could be like temperature whatever you want it to be. But for simplicity's sake, and it's also the fact that I'm holding a scarf, I'm going to refer to it as the temperature scarf. What is a temperature scarf? So you see how this is all different color. Every row is a different color. And how is the color decided? Like whichever stripe color is used. It's not scientific. It's totally dictated by Mother Nature. You would assign a different color yarn for different temperature range. In our case, or case of Amanda, she's the one who's working on this, she assigned a different color for different, like every 10 degrees. So when it's frigid low, like really, really cold, 19 degrees Fahrenheit or lower, she chose black. And then I don't know if there's any inspiration as to the color choices. I'm guessing, you know, like the bluish color is for like the colder temperature. And then like, you know, the green is more like spring weather, right? So it's green. And then up here, when it's like super hot, it's getting, you know, reds and pinks. Okay. So for every day, depending on what that, the temperature is, you would knit a row in that color. So here I'm looking at January 1st. It was 46 degrees here in Jersey. And for Amanda, in her chart, according to her chart, when the temperature falls between 40 and 49 degrees, she's gonna do a green row. So you get the picture, right? And this is what it has been so far. So we were in the 40s in the beginning of the year, apparently, and then the temperature dropped in this area here for a few days. It went back up, dropped back down, etc., etc. You get the picture. Until here, you can see, like I said, it's Memorial Day today, so it's end of May, and I think it's like it's a little bit on the cooler side. The weather is beautiful outside. It's in the 70s, so I guess she's doing orange, as that's her temperature range. But this is kind of neat. Like if you want to do a long-term project, all you're doing is committing yourself to a row a day, depending on what the color is. So this is like your diary for the year. I think it's really, really neat. Of course, in terms of the yarn choice, you could opt to use scrappy yarn because it's like, you know, sectioned off. It could be this color, it could be that color. Although remember, it's not random, right? It's dictated by Mother Nature. But why would you want to do that when you can use a full skein, you know, for the whole year? I'm not saying that you're going to need the entire skein to make up of each color to make up the scarf. But what I'm saying is, wouldn't it be nice to see the entire scarf from the beginning of the year to the end, more congruent, using the exact same material, same dye lot, same color, same everything. So when we started off with this colorway at the beginning of the year, my guess is when we get to the end of the year, we're going to end up with the same colorway. Like a little bit varied, but at least it's going to be like in the blues and greens, right? So on one end, you're going to have that, and then it's going to be neatly tied off on the other end like that. So that's why I think, in my opinion, it would be better if you use the same full skein for the entire year instead of using scrappy yarn. And Amanda had neatly organized a crate, a box full of, I'll put this here, of the yarn that she will use for the year. And then she is a crocheter, so she is crocheting this project. Of course, you could knit it if that's what you want to do. And she chose, of course, one of our house yarn. It's a flamel. Okay, it is made of 60% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and you can see the halo-ness, 20% alpaca. That's what's making it a little bit halo-y and yummy. As you know, Biscotte Yarns, we are hand dyers. All of our yarns are hand dyed, no matter a sock yarn or like, you know, DKW yarn, whatever. We have stripy yarns on this wall here. We have variegated yarns on that wall here. And out of the screen, we also have gradient yarns as well as solids, very much like these guys here. All right, so you could definitely choose something that we hand dye in the solid color. We don't just do variegated or stripy yarns. Speaking of gradient yarn, there's something else that we can talk about, you know, like what I am wearing. So this is actually a scarf, but I tied it in the back. I'll show you. Not very artistic or whatever, but it is a scarf. It is a lace scarf. It's this is called Rolling in the Deep, I think. No, Rolling on the River. This is not Adele. This is the other band, Rolling on the River. Anyway, so one of the first products that I drew my eyes towards when I very first time walked into the store was this scarf, because I love gradient. I love the way the color just graduates to the next, etc., etc. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to remain seated and show you how it morphs. So we start off with the darker green, and then it morphs into the lighter green, and then it morphs into this like grayish color, like grayish green, and then the purple. You see it like, it's not rudely interrupted, right? It's not like blocked. It just kind of morphs into it. And the way that happens is, obviously, you use six different skeins, 6 different colors to make this pattern. And to do that, every time, like right before you move on to the next colorway, you would alternate the color A and then the color B. So for example, it's like rows 1 and 2 you use A, and then 3 and 4 you use B, and then 5, 6 you use A, 7, 8 you use B, etc., etc. And then for this, oh, by the way, this pattern, rolling on the river, is a free pattern. You don't have to purchase our yarn to get this for free, but why wouldn't you want to purchase our yarn? Because it's delicious. And also we made it really, really easy for you. We have boxes, pink boxes is what we call them. So it's already, if you are like me, I hate putting color together because I can't, it's very stressful for me. So when I'm going to make this, I would just buy one of these babies. This colorway is called Canyon, and you can totally see the colors of the canyon. Actually, I don't know if you can because, you know, of the camera and the reflection of the plastic, but it's like some like orange, reminds me of the desert, the mountain range of the canyons. And the skies. We have another colorway that's nice. This is Blush. Obvious reasons. And then we have another one. We have more than the 3 that I'm showing you. 4 if you include the scarf that I was wearing. And this is Horizon, like the blue skies. So you could download the pattern for free, which I'm going to talk about in 2 seconds. And then you can also buy a pink box. And each box contains 6 mini skeins. And what makes it mini is that it's not the full skein, which is 100 grams. The mini one is half of that. So you get 50 grams or 200 meters. Now about the pattern, about the shawl. It was designed by Louise Robert. The size of the scarf is 18 inches wide by 70 inches long, and for the rest of the world that translates to shoot, I had it memorized, I need to look at my notes, 47 centimeters wide and 180 centimeters long. There you go. The pattern is both charted and written out. It is lace knitting, but the lace pattern is really, really easy to memorize, I would think. I haven't made it yet, like I said, but having looked at the pattern, I studied it a little bit before the filming. It seemed pretty straightforward. You could see the lace work. Like, you know, where you would do your yarn overs, increases and decreases, you know, so it won't, I mean, you know, maybe like for the first several pattern repeats, you're going to have to rely on the pattern. But after you get going for a little bit, I'm sure you'll be able to do it, you know, while carrying on a conversation or knit flexing. It's 5 pattern repeat per row, and then you knit 70 inches of it, or 180 centimeters. So there is that. If you are interested in downloading the pattern and or purchasing a kit for yourself, I will be putting down the links to our website, to the specific pages where you can pull those for yourself. In addition to hand dyeing yarns, Biscotte Yarns also have other house branded products. One of those are what we call the knitting pearls. So knitting pearls are basically a ball that looks like a pearl that is scented, and we have several different scents. It just looks like that. This is how big it is, and it's just a pearl, a ball, a wax ball that is fragrant, scented. There are several, like this one is my favorite. It's called Manchurian, and it smells like lychee, like citrusy. And I think it also has mangosteen, so kind of like a South Asian fruits. It's really, really yummy. And then there are other fragrance too, more floral. There's like cotton flower, I believe, so on and so forth. So what do you use these for? Let's talk about that. They're not like mothballs. They're not insect repellent, I don't think. But what you do is you put it in your wound up skein of yarn. I wouldn't put it in the middle, like where you pull the yarn from, because it's as you pull the yarn to do your project, it's going to have a bigger hole, and then the ball is going to fall off and get lost. So I would probably like just tuck it somewhere in the middle. Like you can't even see it anymore. I tucked it in here. So as you pull it, it's going to have the scent of the ball in the yarn, and it's just gonna smell good. Your project's gonna smell good, and everybody will be really zen and happy. You could pick this up on our website at biscotteyarns.com, where you can see all the other scents that we have, or if you are local or traveling through, stop by our store and then you can smell them for yourselves. Oh, by the way, if you are to order this online, we may send you something that looks like this in a circle jar like this, or it could be in a cube. Wait, let me hold it better. Sorry. Here, there you go. Or it could be in a cube like this, or it could be in a package like this. So you won't know what kind of packaging you'll be getting until you receive it in the mail, which is kind of fun, isn't it? But for sure, you're gonna know the scent that you'll be getting because you'll be ordering that. No matter what kind of packaging you get, you will most certainly get 8 pearls in each package. That is for sure. Along the same line, we have another product. It's called the Wool Ball Star. This is the packaging for it. Each package contains 2 stars, and it's made of the same or similar material as the pearl. Kind of waxy. They are also scented. And the purpose of this is not only get the yummy scent onto your yarn so you'd, feel pretty while you're making your project, but also it's used to wind up your ball, your skein. So if you have like a skein and you have a swift, but then your ball winder thing broke, or maybe you just want to, use low tech and just wind it up yourself, then you would just, wind it with every star corner. And wind it into a ball, and then it will become like a center pull yarn of ball, but it's going to be yummier because it's going to have the scent on it. It's going to be great. And I don't think you would need to keep the star in the middle of the skein. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but if you wanted to wind up other balls, and there's only 2 that comes in the package, and you can just take it out and use it to wind up another one. The choice is yours. As I said earlier, today is Memorial Day Monday. It's a US holiday, no school, no work for most people, but I actually came into work because we already had our barbecue and party with the family a couple of days ago. So today we're off doing our own things. Besides teaching knitting at Biscotte Yarns, I am also a piano teacher, and we have piano recital coming up in a couple of weeks. And being a really mean and tough teacher that I am, no vacation for my students. So this morning, I did like several hours of piano teaching, had a quick lunch, and then I came into the shop to do this video. Being a musician and a piano teacher, one of the things that I knew I had to talk about in one of these episodes are this sock. It's called Etude, designed again by Louise Robert. Etude is a toe-up sock. You would knit like regular stockinette. You do your increases along the toe box, and then when you get to the piano part, the keyboard part, that's where you would do the color work. And in the pattern, the color work is only charted. I don't really think you would need written out instruction to do this color work anyway. And after the keyboard is done, you continue on until you get to the heel, which is constructed with German short rows. And then after that, the gusset, everything, you would continue on to the leg where some cable work is done to create the two guitars. One in the front, one in the back. And for the guitar, for that cabling work, Louise did both chart out and wrote out the written word instructions. So whichever way you prefer to do your cabling work, you have options. And then a little bit of stockinette here. And then before we do the cuffs and then the bind off, we have another row of piano keyboard. There are two sizes that comes for this sock. I think it's 64 or 72 stitches, you know, pretty typical. But the length of the foot is adjustable. You would knit up to certain inches, and then you would construct the heel part, the German short row heel part. You could buy this pattern on our website at biscotteyarns.com, or you could buy it as a kit. And when you buy it as a kit, the pattern will come with the yarn, and it would be free for you. It would be a gift for buying the kit. So it comes with a full skein of Louise Robert Collection Super Sock, and this is the colorway Parchment. And then the kit also comes with the piano colors. It's like mini skeins. It's not even half skein. It's smaller than that because you don't need all that yarn to knit up the keyboard part. So it would just be enough for you to knit up the keyboard, so you don't have to waste any yarn and have extras. And this is the colorway Nature, and that is Charbon, I believe. And both of which are from the Biscotte Yarns Bis Sock collection, so our regular sock yarn. And again, I will put links in the description box below, so if you would like to pick up a kit, you can, or we still have a couple of kits left in our shop, so if you wanted to swing by and have a look at it yourself, you're very welcome to. We'd love to see you and have you in the store. Let's talk about the sweater on the mannequin to my right. It's called the Quebec Cool Tee, designed by Fatima Hines. She designed this using our La Douce MCN yarn. MCN stands for merino, cashmere, and nylon. To make this sweater, depending on what size you knit up, you would need 1 to 2 skein of this colorway, which is aquamarine, and then 2 to 4 skein of this colorway, which is biscuit. And there are 8 sizes available in the pattern. Now, before I go into the construction of the sweater, let's talk a little bit about this yarn. So my very first experience with Biscotte Yarns are these guys, the La Douce MCN. Late last year, I needed to buy yarn to make a baby project for a new baby in the family. And I was just gonna choose the regular sock yarn that we have because it's superwash merino, so you have the softness, yet the washability and the durability for a baby. But then my eyes just like kind of drew from one wall to the other wall to these guys. And they look even soft, like, you know, without picking it up. I don't know, I just gravitated to these guys. Yes, it's made of superwash merino wool, but with that extra 10% of cashmere in it, I find that it really is softer. and you know, softer to the touch to compared to the regular sock yarn. So I really think that this is ideal for any baby projects that you may be contemplating. I bought one color each. I bought 4 skeins in 4 different colors, and I knitted the 4 corners. I think it's called the 4 Corners Baby Blanket by Pearl Soho. It used up almost 1 skein per triangle. The pattern is like 4 triangles to make up a square blanket. So it used up almost all of 1 skein, and I used a US size 3. I believe it was a little while ago, but if memory serves, I think it was a US size 3 needles, just to give you a reference. And after I gave it a cold bath and it's been, you know, line dried and everything, it bloomed. The stitches bloomed. Now the stitches used for the pattern is just, you know, regular garter stitch. You knit every row, but after a cold bath, it really like evened out the stitches and it felt that much softer. So I was really happy with it. So like I said, if you're wanting to make this as a gift or for your own baby, I really think that these guys are the way to go. Again, because of the superwash aspect of the merino, you get the softness of the merino, but also the washability of the superwash, and the durability of the nylon, and then the extra luxe and softness of the cashmere. Now about this sweater. This one was knitted with US size 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles. Of course, you may need to adjust your needle size depending on how you knit. If you're a tighter knitter, then you would need to go up a needle size, and the opposite is true. If you tend to have a looser hands, then you might need to go down on the needle size. At the end of the day, you just need to make sure you get gauge to make this sweater. So this sweater is constructed, this sweater is constructed from the bottom up. You do 1 hem first. It's knitted flat, and then you do the other hem. And once that one is completed, you would connect it in the round, and then you would continue working up. There is a little bit of colorway here, if you can see. And then you switch the color, and then she striped it a little bit at the end of the day. As you can see, for the most part of the sweater, it's stockinette stitch. So you just knit around and around and around. But to break the monogamy of it, there is some lacy cable stuff going on here, and it's balanced on the other side. I don't think I need to show you that. On the other side, you get the picture. And then here is the sleeve. It's basically a drop shoulder, so you don't really need to do anything extra or fancy to create the sleeve part. And then up here, when you get to the neckline, she reintroduced the aquamarine color and stripe it a little bit, and also breaking the monogamy again with the garter stitch. I'm drawing a blank for a second. So you have like your flat knitting, and then you have like a little bit of bumpy with some color interest. And then when you get to the shoulder, you know, you knit the front and then you knit the back after you get to the underarm. So when you get back up to the front, you don't bind off the shoulder stitches when you're done with each side. She wanted you to use a 3 needle bind off. And to do that, she instructs you to turn the garment inside out and then do the 3 needle bind off. Once that's done, you pick up the stitches along the armhole, and then you do a little bit of ribbing to tie it off. Obviously, you do the same for the other side. Once that's completed, you can move on to the neckline. You would pick up the stitches and then do the similar ribbing for the neckline. I think this is a really nice piece for the summer, for warmer weather. Not only because of the fiber content, but also the ease of it. It seems like it could be, of course, it depends on how you personally like to wear your sweater, but this seems like it's a piece that could, you know, give you like maybe 4 or 5 inches of positive ease. And also the neckline is a little bit wide. I don't think you're gonna get like the flash dance effect here. It's not that wide, but at least, you know, you're gonna have some, you know, breathing room over here, right? So that it's not too tucked to the collar of your neck, which is ideal for when the weather is getting a little bit warmer. This is the end of episode 5. Thank you so much for staying with us to this point. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us comments, give us some love, yada, yada, yada. And if you plan on casting on any projects that we talked about in today's episode, or maybe you're already working on one of our patterns or using our yarn, please put it up on your social and don't forget to hashtag Biscotte Yarns. Until next time, happy crafting.